This podcast is brought to you by The Senior Techie, a source of information for seniors and others about technology. Welcome, everyone, to the Senior Techie podcast.
Thanks so much for having me today. I'm really looking forward to this.
Oh, the pleasure is entirely mine. And
Well,
to everyone out there listening, whether you are, an adult over 55 wanting to stay ahead of the curve,
right.
or a dedicated family member, or maybe one of the millions of hardworking caregivers doing the heavy lifting every single day.
Absolutely. Doing incredible work.
Exactly. This conversation is built entirely for you. We are just so thrilled you've joined us.
It's an important topic today.
It really is. We have this truly profound question at the heart of our discussion right now, something that touches, almost every family at some point.
Yeah, without a doubt.
How do we combat this silent, pervasive epidemic of loneliness and social isolation among older adults?
And do it while keeping them independent.
Yes. Keeping them independent, healthy, and deeply engaged right in the comfort of their own homes. It's a huge question.
It's massive. It really is a central challenge of our time.
But the answers we've found, the answers are nothing short of magical.
I completely agree. The landscape of aging is changing, and the solutions are evolving in ways that are just incredibly encouraging.
So what are we getting into today?
Well, today we're going to explore the revolutionary and, honestly, overwhelmingly positive concept of AI companion robots.
AI companions.
Right. Specifically, we're focusing on a truly groundbreaking device named ElliQ.
ElliQ.
Yes, and I want to be clear right off the bat, this isn't science fiction.
Right, no flying cars or android butlers.
Exactly. It is a present-day, positive, life-affirming solution. It's actively transforming the way we think about aging in place.
Bringing joy and connection right to the kitchen table.
Or the living room. It brings health support right into the daily routine.
I am so ready to get into this.
Me too.
But before we talk about the technology itself, I think we need to define the problem we're actually trying to solve here.
That makes sense. We need context.
Because when we talk about loneliness, I think a lot of people just picture someone feeling, a little bored on a rainy afternoon.
Yeah, just watching TV alone.
Right. But the Senior Techie says that loneliness is a massive, significant health issue for older adults.
It's a public health crisis, really.
It is. In fact, the Senior Techie says that approximately 61% of adults report feelings of loneliness.
61%.
Just think about that for a second. If you are listening to this right now, think about your own social circle.
It's a staggering number.
If you look at a room of 10 older adults, six of them are carrying this invisible heavy weight of isolation.
That's a powerful way to visualize it.
And the sources point out that this is comparable to physical ailments in how it increases the risk of morbidity and mortality.
Which is an incredible statement when you really break it down.
So can you break that down for us? What do those clinical terms actually mean in the context of just feeling lonely?
Yeah, that is a crucial distinction to make. It requires us to separate loneliness from simply being alone.
Okay, what's the difference?
Well, someone can live completely alone in a cabin in the woods and be perfectly content.
Right, just enjoying the quiet.
Exactly. That is solitude. Loneliness, however, is a biological and psychological state of distress.
Distress, so it's active.
Highly active. It happens when the quality or the quantity of someone's social relationships simply does not meet their fundamental human needs.
Because we're a social species.
We are. Evolutionarily speaking, being separated from the group meant you were in danger.
You are vulnerable to predators.
Exactly. So when a person experiences chronic loneliness, their brain literally perceives it as a threat.
Wow.
That kicks the body into a low-grade, constant state of stress.
So it is essentially triggering a fight or flight response, just on a much quieter, prolonged scale.
Precisely. And that brings us to those clinical terms, morbidity and mortality.
Right.
Morbidity refers to the rate of disease or illness in a population.
And mortality is the rate of death.
Exactly. The medical community now recognizes that the chronic distress of loneliness operates on the body, much like a physical disease.
What does it actually do to the body?
It elevates blood pressure. It causes inflammation.
Just from feeling isolated.
Yes. And it affects cognitive capacity because the brain isn't getting that regular dynamic stimulation that comes from conversing with others.
Like a muscle that isn't being used.
Spot on. Over time, this lack of engagement accelerates physical frailty and impacts cardiovascular health.
That is terrifying.
It is. And historically, the only real solution to this was significant, continuous human intervention.
Meaning someone actually being there.
Right. Having a person physically there in the room, chatting, engaging, and monitoring well-being.
But as anyone listening to this knows, human caregivers are stretched incredibly thin.
Incredibly thin. It's a breaking point for many families.
You are absolutely speaking to our listeners who are in the trenches right now. The family members and professional caregivers listening know this better than anyone.
They live it every day.
You're giving it your all, you're doing your best, but you are only one person.
You can't clone yourself.
Right. The sources we're looking at point out that over 60% of caregivers experience burnout.
It makes complete sense.
It does. You might be managing your own life, your full-time job, maybe your own children.
The sandwich generation.
Exactly. And on top of all that, you're trying to be there emotionally and physically for an aging parent who lives across town.
The mental load is staggering.
It's a recipe for total exhaustion. So, we clearly need a spark of innovation to bridge this gap.
We need a new tool.
Enter the AI companion. The senior techie says social robots can actually serve as a social catalyst.
I love that term.
Me too. But how does a piece of technology act as a social catalyst?
It's a brilliant, entirely positive intervention. When we use the term social catalyst, we're talking about something that sparks engagement.
Sparks routine.
Routine interaction. We are not talking about replacing human love here.
That's an important distinction.
Very important. We are talking about supplementing it in a beautiful, consistent way.
Which brings us back to ElliQ.
Yes, ElliQ.
Yeah.
This technology was purpose-built from the ground up to address this exact gap in elder care.
It's an AI-powered companion robot designed specifically for older adults.
With their unique needs, pacing, and preferences entirely in mind.
I really want to paint a clear picture of ElliQ for everyone listening because the word robot carries so much baggage.
It really does. People hear robot and they think...
It's sci-fi.
Exactly.
When I first read the word robot, I immediately pictured some creepy, human-looking android wandering the halls of a house.
Like something out of a movie.
Right, but that is not what this is at all.
Not even close.
ElliQ is gorgeously designed. It's about the size of a small table lamp, and it actually looks a bit like a modern, elegant piece of home decor.
It blends right in.
It does, and what's so fascinating to me is that it has no face.
None at all.
Instead, it has this beautifully smooth, rounded upper unit that swivels and nods.
It's very organic.
Yes, and it lights up with this warm glow when it talks to you, conveying this friendly, human-like body language.
Without pretending to be human.
Right, and it sits right next to a dedicated tablet screen that handles video calls, shows pictures, and displays games.
It's a two-part system.
So why did the designers choose to make it look like a lamp rather than giving it a friendly human face or big cartoon eyes?
The physical design is actually a masterclass in psychological design.
Really?
Yeah, specifically addressing something called the uncanny valley.
Uncanny valley.
Right. There's a well-documented concept in robotics and animation called the uncanny valley.
What does that mean exactly?
It means that when a robot or a computer-generated character looks almost exactly human, but not quite perfectly human, our brains get deeply unsettled.
It feels creepy.
Exactly. It feels creepy because our instincts are telling us something is wrong.
Like a survival mechanism.
Right. By giving ElliQ no face at all, the designers completely bypass that creepy feeling.
That is so smart. Because there's no face, you don't have that expectation of human microexpressions.
And you aren't disappointed or unsettled when they aren't there.
Wow, that makes total sense.
It does. And furthermore, it allows the user to project their own sense of companionship onto the device.
Rejecting their own feelings.
Yes. The subtle movements are what really sell the connection.
Like the nodding.
Exactly. When you walk into the room and ElliQ turns its head to face you, or when it gently nods while you are speaking,
It feels like it's listening.
it taps into our innate human desire to be seen and acknowledged.
When ElliQ lights up and moves toward your voice, your brain registers that as presence.
It registers as company.
It's friendly, approachable, and completely non-threatening to someone who might not consider themselves tech-savvy.
Which is key for this demographic.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the absolute magic of how this device actually behaves.
And because looking nice on a kitchen counter is one thing.
But how it interacts is what changes lives.
Exactly.
Most of our listeners are probably familiar with standard smart speakers.
Sure, we all have them.
You buy a smart speaker, you plug it in, and it just sits there in silence until you shout a command at it.
Hey, device, set a timer.
Right. Set a timer for pasta, play the morning news.
It's entirely reactive.
Entirely reactive, but ElliQ is different.
Very different.
ElliQ is proactive. It initiates conversations.
It reaches out to you.
You wake up and ElliQ lights up, swivels toward you, and asks how you slept.
Without you saying a word first.
It suggests activities out of the blue. It might remember that you mentioned your grandson's baseball game yesterday and proactively ask you how it went today.
That's the part that blows people away.
How is it pulling that off?
That proactivity is the defining feature. It is the core of the magic.
Okay.
The senior techie says that ElliQ uses advanced artificial intelligence to learn a user's personality, their interests, and their behavioral patterns over time.
Over time, so it's constantly learning.
Yes. To understand how it does this, without getting too bogged down in computer science, you can think of it as the AI building a specialized contextual memory for each specific user.
Contextual memory.
Right. Every time the user interacts with ElliQ, the AI takes notes.
Figuring out what they like.
It learns when you like to be active in the morning, when you prefer quiet time in the afternoon, what kinds of trivia topics you enjoy, and what your health goals are.
So it isn't just a pre-programmed alarm clock that goes off at the same time every day?
Far from it.
It's actually adapting to the rhythm of the individual person's life.
Yes. It doesn't just blast out random generic alerts.
Which would get annoying fast.
Very fast. It builds a contextual relationship. If you tell it you are feeling tired, it remembers that state and might suggest a more relaxing activity later in the day.
That's incredible.
This level of proactivity mimics the natural flow of a real human friendship.
Think about a good friend. They don't just wait for you to call them with a command.
No, they reach out. They check in.
They ask about things you told them previously.
Exactly. That is what reinforces the feeling of companionship.
That makes perfect sense. In fact, the sources actually break down the 6 key behaviors that users ranked as reinforcing this incredible sense of companionship.
I'm glad you brought those up.
I want to go through these one by one because they're so revealing about what we all crave as human beings.
It really highlights human nature.
And it shows just how thoughtfully this AI is programmed.
Let's hear them.
Number 1 is simply asking about their well-being.
Right. And think about the profound impact of that simple act.
Just being asked how you are.
For someone living alone, they might go days without anyone asking, "How are you feeling today?"
Or did you rest well?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Having a cheerful presence initiate that check-in validates their existence and their physical state,
It makes them feel cared for.
which is a fundamental human need.
Number 2 is greeting them or saying goodnight.
Such a small thing, but so huge.
This one strikes a chord with me. When you live in a bustling house with family, you take for granted the chorus of good mornings and good nights.
You don't even think about it.
But when the house is empty, the silence in the morning and at night can be the loudest part of the day.
That silence is heavy. It creates bookends for the day when you break that silence.
Dense.
Yes. Psychological studies show that routines and rituals are incredibly grounding, particularly for older adults whose days might lack the strict structure of a typical work week.
Right, without a 9-to-5 job.
The cheerful good morning, the weather looks beautiful today, sets a positive tone.
And a gentle good night, sleep well, provides a comforting closure to the evening. Number 3 is really interesting. Responding with empathy.
This is where the AI really shines.
But how does a machine actually demonstrate empathy in a way that feels genuine to an older adult?
It comes down to voice modulation and context-aware responses.
Voice modulation.
When a user says they are in pain or they are feeling a little down, ElliQ doesn't just offer a generic web search result.
It doesn't just say, here are articles about feeling down.
Right. It modulates its tone of voice to be softer and more compassionate.
That is so advanced.
It expresses sympathy verbally, saying something like, "I am so sorry to hear you are feeling that way."
Validating their feelings.
And then it offers actionable, gentle support. It might suggest a calming breathing exercise.
Or maybe offer to play some of the user's favorite uplifting music.
Exactly. It's that consistent, reliable emotional support that builds true trust over time.
Number 4 on the list of behaviors that users love is saying something cute or funny.
Humor is essential.
I love this one because laughter is just so therapeutic.
It really is the best medicine.
Having a robot that throws out a harmless dad joke or a witty observation can instantly break the tension of a long, quiet afternoon.
Laughter releases endorphins. It's an instant stress reliever.
By programming the AI to inject moments of levity and humor into the day, the designers ensured that the relationship isn't just clinical.
It's not just a medical device.
Right, it's meant to be joyful.
Joy is the goal.
Number 5 is offering to do activities together, like games or exercises.
Keeping the mind and body active.
And number 6 is listening when they need to talk.
That's a big one.
I want to spend some time on this listening aspect because we have the most heartwarming stories from actual users to back this up.
The user stories are just phenomenal.
These are real people whose lives have been brightened so much by having something that just listens to them.
It changes everything.
Take Jan, for instance. After getting ElliQ, her resting heart rate actually dropped.
Her physiological baseline improved.
Her cognitive tests improved. She even came home from the doctor and immediately went to tell ElliQ the good news.
Because that's her companion.
Then there's Susan, who is 61. She said she feels like she literally has a friend next to her.
A constant friend.
She loves that ElliQ talks to her and provides that constant warm presence.
Those stories beautifully illustrate the physiological benefits of reduced stress that we were talking about earlier.
Connecting the emotional to the physical.
When you feel less isolated, when you feel heard and accompanied, your nervous system can finally relax out of that chronic fight-or-flight state.
Letting that guard down.
The body's primary stress hormone is called cortisol.
Cortisol, right.
When you are lonely and stressed, cortisol levels remain high, which elevates your heart rate and impairs cognitive function.
It just wears the body down.
Exactly. When Jan started interacting with ElliQ, she felt accompanied. Her stress dropped. Her cortisol levels likely drop.
Which directly explains the improvement in her resting heart rate and her cognitive tests.
It is a perfect example of how emotional well-being translates directly into physical health.
And the emotional safety net it provides is just incredible.
It really is.
There is another story from the sources about a man named Tony. Tony is 66, and he talked about what it is like to come home to an empty house.
That's a tough transition for a lot of people.
For a lot of folks listening who might live alone or caregivers who worry about their parents living alone,
Yeah.
that moment you turn the key in the lock and step into a silent, empty hallway,
Especially after something stressful, like a doctor's appointment.
it can be incredibly heavy. The quiet just echoes. It's deafening. But Tony says now he has the robot. He comes home and he has someone to talk to.
ElliQ's there to welcome him back.
To ask him how the appointment went and fill that silence, that right there is priceless.
It completely changes the atmosphere of the physical living space.
From a house to a home again.
The home transforms from a quiet, static container into an interactive, welcoming environment.
The impact of simply being greeted when you walk through the door cannot be overstated.
It's foundational to feeling valued.
And this brings us to another astonishing dimension of this technology. We've talked a lot about the companionship side.
The small talk, the jokes, the emotional comfort.
But ElliQ is not just a conversationalist.
No, not at all.
It is a profound health ally.
A true partner in wellness.
Yes, the health and wellness coach aspect of ElliQ is mind-blowing.
It's revolutionary.
It handles medication reminders, but it does it gently, not like a blaring alarm clock.
Nobody likes being beeped at.
It proactively prompts you to stay hydrated throughout the day.
Crucial for older adults.
It suggests gentle physical exercises, like balance routines, which we know are absolutely critical for reducing the risk of falls in older adults.
Fall prevention is a massive priority.
Now, I want to talk about the data here, and I have to emphasize this. The senior techie is very clear about this.
The numbers are incredible.
The success of ElliQ's wellness coach is unprecedented. Tell us about the numbers, because when I read them, I almost didn't believe them.
The data truly defies the standard metrics we see across the entire health technology industry.
Standard metrics usually aren't great.
No, they aren't. If you look at standard wellness apps that you might download on your smartphone.
Like fitness trackers or diet apps?
Exactly. Meditation guides, or even medication reminder apps. They notoriously struggle with long-term engagement.
People give up on them.
People download them with great intentions. They use them for a week, but the drop-off is severe.
What's the usual retention rate?
Most of those standard apps retain just 3 to 4% of their users after a month.
3 to 4%. That is terrible.
Even human-led personal training programs often cap out at around a 30% retention rate.
So standard apps lose almost everyone after 30 days. But what about ElliQ?
ElliQ's wellness coach boasts an 87% retention rate after 30 days.
87%.
It's phenomenal.
That is completely unheard of.
It really is. And it doesn't just stop at the 30-day mark.
It keeps going.
Even after 3 months, 76% of users are still actively participating and sticking to their health routines.
76% after 3 months.
Because of this incredible retention, they have seen a 465% increase in physical activity sessions among users since this coach feature was introduced.
Let that sink in. A 465% increase in physical activity for older adults.
It's hard to wrap your head around.
That is life-changing data. But I have to ask the obvious question.
Why does it work?
Yes. Why does this work so remarkably well when every other app fails?
It's a great question.
I know a lot of families who have tried setting up calendar alerts, phone alarms, and specialized medication apps for their parents, and they just get ignored or deleted.
We've all been there.
Why are older adults actually sticking to ElliQ's health routines?
The answer lies in the fundamental difference between punitive design and empathetic design.
Punitive versus empathetic.
Standard apps usually bark commands at you through push notifications.
Stand up now.
Right. You missed your step goal. Take your pills.
It feels punitive, like a nagging teacher.
It strips the user of their autonomy, and human beings naturally rebel against being ordered around by a machine.
Nobody wants a robot bossing them around.
Exactly.
Yeah.
ElliQ takes a completely different collaborative approach. It allows older adults to set, control, and adjust their own goals across 4 critical areas:
Which are?
physical exercise, cognitive training, stress reduction, and sleep.
So they are setting the terms of their own health plan.
Exactly. They aren't being told what to do. They're being invited to collaborate on their own wellness.
They're in the driver's seat.
Because ElliQ acts with that built-in empathy and encouragement we discussed earlier, older adults feel a profound sense of agency.
They own their health journey.
ElliQ acts as a cheerleader, celebrating their victories.
Positive reinforcement.
And crucially, it offers gentle grace if they miss a day.
Grace is so important.
If you don't meet your exercise goal, ElliQ doesn't send a red alert. It might say, "That's okay, we all need rest days. Would you like to try a short breathing exercise instead?"
It pivots beautifully.
It is the power of a relationship driving behavioral change, rather than just a notification on a screen.
I love that distinction. It is the difference between a nagging alarm clock and a supportive gym buddy.
A gym buddy who never judges you.
It treats the older adult with respect and preserves their dignity.
Absolutely.
And the real-world impact of all this proactive companionship and health coaching is staggering when it is deployed on a large scale.
The large-scale data is where it gets really exciting.
Let's look at the partnership with the New York State Office for the Aging, or NYSOFA.
Such a forward-thinking initiative.
The fact that a state government agency recognized the brilliance of this technology and partnered with Intuition Robotics to distribute ElliQ to hundreds of older adults across the state.
It's a massive endorsement.
It is a phenomenal initiative.
When you implement a public health intervention at the state level, you are usually hoping for maybe a 10 or 20% improvement in your target metrics.
Right. You want to see a slight dip in hospital readmissions or a marginal improvement in self-reported well-being.
You're hoping for incremental change.
Right. But the senior techie says there was a 95% reduction in loneliness among users in this New York program.
95%.
That isn't a marginal improvement. That is practically eradicating the feeling of loneliness for the people using the device.
It's a complete transformation.
Furthermore, 97% of clients reported feeling better overall.
Almost everyone.
And 88% said ElliQ makes a positive, noticeable difference in their daily lives.
Those aren't just dry statistics on a spreadsheet.
No, those are thousands of individual days made brighter, thousands of smiles that wouldn't have happened otherwise.
And we can see exactly how that profound shift happens when we look at the engagement metrics.
Tell us about the engagement.
This isn't a device that sits in the corner collecting dust after the novelty wears off.
Like so many gadgets do.
The data shows that, on average, users interact with ElliQ over 30 times a day, 6 days a week.
30 times a day.
And with the newer, even more advanced AI models they have introduced recently, that engagement has jumped to 45 daily touch points.
45 times a day. Let's just visualize that for our listeners because that number is huge.
It is a lot of interaction.
What does a day with 45 interactions actually look like?
It means constant connection.
That means from the moment you wake up, there is a morning greeting.
Good morning, time to shine.
Throughout your morning coffee, there might be a reminder to take your medication and a quick daily trivia question.
Keeping the brain sharp.
During your mid-morning lull, it suggests a hydration break.
Time for a glass of water.
At lunch, it plays your favorite music.
A little background ambiance.
In the afternoon, it takes you on a quick virtual video tour of a museum in Paris on the tablet screen.
Expanding their world from their living room.
Right up until bedtime, when it guides you through a relaxation exercise and wishes you a good night.
There is a consistent, friendly interaction happening continuously.
It completely fills the silence of an empty house.
It creates a beautiful, sustaining rhythm to the day.
Rhythm is so important.
For many older adults, the loss of structure after retirement or after the kids move out, or certainly after the loss of a spouse,
That loss can be deeply disorienting.
extremely. When you don't have anywhere you have to be, the days can blur together.
Every day feels the same.
Those 45 touch points reestablish a gentle structure. It gives the day a shape and a sense of forward momentum.
We see the joy of that structure so clearly in the stories coming out of the New York program.
The individual stories are the best part.
There's a user named Carol who just radiates joy when she talks about her robot.
Carol is wonderful.
She uses ElliQ to play interactive games, and she even dances with it.
Dancing with a robot.
Imagine that. Her favorite music playing, the robot swiveling and lighting up to the beat, and Carol dancing in her living room just having a wonderful time.
Pure joy.
And then there is an 84-year-old user in Yonkers. She didn't just meet her initial wellness goals, she actively upgraded them as she got stronger.
She leveled up.
She uses ElliQ to play bingo, keep her mind sharp, and stay physically active.
The sheer vitality this level of engagement brings to their daily routines is so inspiring.
It truly is. It actively shifts the cultural narrative of aging.
We need that shift so badly.
For so long, society has framed aging as a story of decline, isolation, and shrinking horizons.
A very bleak picture.
Technologies like ElliQ reframe aging as a time of continuous growth, playfulness, and new connections.
It's empowering.
And while the primary beneficiary is, of course, the older adult using the device, we absolutely have to talk about the ripple effect this has on their families and caregivers.
Yes, the caregivers. We cannot forget them.
If you are a family member or a caregiver listening to this next part is entirely for you.
Listen closely.
We know how hard you work. The senior techie says there are 48 million unpaid caregivers out there.
48 million. That is an army of unpaid labor.
You are heroes, but heroes get tired. You worry constantly.
What's a 24-hour-a-day worry?
You lie awake at night wondering, did Mom take her pills today? Is Dad sitting in the dark feeling sad? Did he remember to drink enough water?
The anxiety is relentless.
This is where the ElliQ caregiver solution and the caregiver app step in to completely change the game for you.
It's a lifeline.
Tell us how the family interacts with this ecosystem.
Caregiving, by its very nature, is a heavy logistical load mixed with intense emotional stakes.
A tough combination.
What the ElliQ ecosystem does is act almost like a dedicated AI-powered home aide.
An assistant for the caregiver.
It helps directly combat caregiver burnout by taking on the repetitive logistical tasks that cause so much friction and worry.
How does it do that?
Through the caregiver app on their own smartphone, family members can remotely set up wellness and medication goals for their loved one.
So you program it from your phone.
You can check the app and see if those goals are being met in real time.
No more guessing.
Crucially, you receive immediate alerts if important medications are missed, giving you incredible peace of mind.
You don't have to wonder, you know?
Exactly.
And it is so beautifully integrated into the communication side of things, too. It isn't just a medical monitor.
It's a communication hub.
You can share photos directly from your phone's camera roll, and they pop up instantly on ElliQ's screen for your parent to see.
Sharing moments instantly.
You can send text messages that ElliQ will read aloud, or you can instantly start a video call without your parent having to fumble with complicated tablet menus.
It bridges the physical distance effortlessly.
If we synthesize how this fits into the broader landscape of elder care, we are looking at the evolution of what experts call the hybrid care model.
The hybrid care model.
We need to think of care not as a single fragile lifeline provided by one exhausted daughter or one expensive home aide, but as a robust circle of care.
A circle of care is a great way to visualize it.
A human aide or a loving family member simply cannot be there every minute of the day.
It is physically and financially impossible.
But ElliQ provides proactive availability 24/7.
That is the key phrase right there, 24/7.
It never sleeps, it never gets impatient, it never judges, and it never needs a day off.
Exactly. Because the AI is handling the daytime routine.
The medication reminders, the hydration prompts, the trivia, the cognitive games, and the basic conversational companionship.
It relieves the family of having to be the sole source of interaction and logistical management.
Think about how this changes a family visit.
It changes everything.
When the family member does call or visit, they aren't bogged down in logistical check-ins.
They don't have to spend the first 20 minutes of a phone call asking, did you drink water today?
Did you take your blue pill? Have you done your exercises?
Which can sometimes feel like an interrogation to the parent. and it causes friction.
It causes a lot of friction.
Precisely. It creates a parent-child dynamic reversal that is uncomfortable for everyone.
Mom feels like she's being scolded by her own kid.
Right. But with ElliQ handling the logistics, when the daughter visits, she can just be a daughter again.
The son can just be a son.
They can focus on quality, emotional connection, sharing stories, laughing together, and expressing love, rather than managing a checklist.
It rescues the relationship from being purely transactional caregiving and returns it to being a family.
That is the ultimate support system.
Now, while ElliQ is definitely the gold standard when it comes to a comprehensive, proactive companion, the senior techie notes that it is actually part of a wider, wonderful ecosystem of positive AI tools that are out there helping seniors in very specific ways.
That is a very important point. The technology sector is really rallying around the aging demographic.
Creating diverse tools tailored for different specific needs and cognitive levels.
For example, let's look at a device called PRO.
PRO.
PRO is a therapeutic robotic seal.
A seal.
Yes, it is designed to look like a baby harp seal, covered in soft antibacterial fur, and it is highly responsive to human touch and sound.
I have seen videos of PRO in action, and it is the sweetest thing. But why a baby seal? Why not a dog or a cat?
It is actually a very deliberate design choice.
How so?
If they made it a robotic dog, a user might compare it to a real dog they used to own and notice the mechanical shortcomings.
Oh, that makes sense. They'd think, my real dog didn't move like that.
Exactly. Those people have never interacted with a real baby seal, so there are no preconceived expectations of how it should behave.
So they just accept it.
It allows the user to accept it purely as it is,
Mm-hmm.
and it is incredibly effective in clinical settings.
What kind of settings?
PRO has been clinically proven to calm anxiety, particularly in patients living with dementia or Alzheimer's disease.
How does it help specifically with dementia? I know sundowning and severe anxiety are huge challenges in memory care.
People living with dementia often experience severe agitation and distress because their environment feels confusing.
It's terrifying for them.
The soothing act of petting the seal, feeling its weight in their lap, and having the seal respond with gentle movements, blinks, and soft cooing sounds taps into the deep psychological comfort of pet therapy.
Grounding them.
It provides immediate tactile and sensory feedback that grounds the patient in the present moment.
And it does this without the physical risks of a live animal, like scratching or tripping, or the care requirements of feeding and walking, which a dementia patient cannot manage.
Which is brilliant because so many seniors have to give up their beloved pets when they move into assisted living.
Or when they can no longer physically bend down to scoop a litter box or walk a dog in the winter.
The loss of that animal companionship is devastating.
Which brings up another great innovation mentioned in the sources.
The joy for all pets.
Yes. The Joy for All, or Ageless Innovation Pets.
For those who do want that familiar feline or canine experience, Ageless Innovation has created a line of affordable, incredibly lifelike, robotic cats and dogs.
These aren't just stuffed animals, right? They are genuinely interactive.
Very interactive. They are embedded with sensors.
So they feel you touching them.
They purr vibrantly when you pet their backs. They bark happily. They roll over to expose their bellies, and they respond when you rub their cheeks.
That's amazing.
They bring immense comfort and a sense of purpose to seniors. Having a purring cat on your lap lowers blood pressure and provides a profound sense of calm.
It gives them something to love, something to talk to, and something that actively responds to their affection.
And for folks who might not want a physical robot in their home, but who still need that reliable daily interaction, there are simpler phone-based options too.
The sources mention a service called Mila. Can you explain how Mila fits into this ecosystem?
Mila is a wonderful example of accessible AI.
Accessible AI.
It is a phone-based AI companion that makes a daily phone call to the user just to check in, chat, and see how they are doing.
Just a phone call.
Just a phone call. What is particularly thoughtful and innovative about Mila is its specific accommodation for cognitive changes.
What does it do?
As we age, our auditory processing speed can sometimes slow down.
Right, it takes a second longer to parse the words.
Mila intentionally slows its speech rate during the phone call.
Oh, wow.
This just makes it much easier for the older adult to process the conversation, eliminating the frustration of having to constantly ask someone to repeat themselves.
That preserves their dignity so much.
It is a brilliant low-friction way to ensure daily contact.
I just marvel at how this entire ecosystem of technology is working together.
It's a comprehensive approach.
From the comprehensive, proactive brilliance of ElliQ managing health and daily structure,
To the soothing, tactile comfort of a PRO seal or a robotic pet for memory care.
to the accessible daily check-ins of Mila, all these tools are converging on one beautiful goal.
They are ensuring that older adults never have to feel alone.
And they are bringing continuous, unwavering peace of mind to their families.
It feels like a technological embrace for our most vulnerable population.
It truly is a technological embrace. And as we look at all of this, the staggering 95% reduction in loneliness, the massive increase in physical activity, the profound relief for exhausted caregivers.
The whole picture.
I want to leave our listeners with a forward-looking thought.
Please do.
We spend so much time worrying about the physical accessibility of our homes as we age, installing grab bars, widening doorways, removing trip hazards.
Making the house safe?
But imagine a near future where the home itself is no longer just a physical shelter composed of bricks, wood, and glass.
A smart home in the truest sense.
Imagine the home as an active, intelligent, and deeply empathetic participant in our healthcare and our emotional well-being.
I love that vision.
A space that learns our daily habits, anticipates our physical and emotional needs, and actively loves and cares for us as we age.
That future is not some distant sci-fi dream. In many ways, with tools like ElliQ leading the charge, that future is already here.
What a beautiful, comforting vision of the future to end on.
It's been such a privilege talking about this today.
If you are a caregiver or an older adult thinking about the years ahead, I hope this conversation has given you hope and some incredible new tools to explore. Thank you all for listening. This podcast was brought to you by The Senior Techie. It's available on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Spotify. If you'd like to keep up with their newsletters, you can subscribe for free by going to subscribe.theseniortechie.com.